Sutton on podcast. It's the Sutton podcast.
And there it is! Sutton United of the GM Vauxhall Conference have put out First Division Coventry City, winners of the FA Cup themselves less than 2 years ago. And what a moment to enjoy for the fans of this Surrey side. They've had their moments before, but never one like this.
But the whistle goes down. Delight for Sutton United. Sutton United, the National League, are through to the last 16 of the FA Cup. No longer English football's perennial non-league club. A 123-year crescendo reaches a new peak for Sutton United, who are promoted to the Football League for the first time.
Oh, sorry, no idea what happened there. Hello, welcome to another episode of Sutton United Talk Time on podcast. It's the Sunday service, and it's a mic monologue, I'm afraid. So, due to a couple of different technical issues and timing issues, I wasn't unable to get anyone to join. So, do excuse, but as a reward for this, I'm going to be doing my first ever prize giveaway. We've got a competition going on. A bit later on, I'll give you details and you'll be able to win a digital copy of FIFA 22. So anyway, please join in the chat. We're live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Subscribe while you're there on YouTube. I've chucked the link to the YouTube channel underneath the Twitter account. So if you want to join in any of the chat there, please do so. I will definitely be trying to remember to look at it today. But on with the show. It's going to be a difficult one today. I'm really, really sorry. There's going to be lots of ers and ums because I'm trying to work out what's going on. Normally I do things while people are talking. But after the different things I wanted to talk about, it just kind of popped up on my Facebook memories that today is 5 years since the Arsenal match. So I wanted to have a little just remiss about that. There's no one to stop me, so I do apologise, but I will go through it anyway. We've mentioned before many times the whole cup run was an interesting time for us. We were in the National League, probably at the time we sort of lower National League, upper levels of National League South we thought we should be in, but a nice little cup run was what we always wanted. And we obviously had the great Wimbledon match. We had the Leeds match, which was brilliant, and then the as I said on my status, it got switched up to 11, and the Arsenal game was absolutely insane. Just remember there was so much coverage on TV. There was stuff going on all the time. We had different members of staff. I remember hearing that loads and loads of people, obviously volunteer club, everyone taking up annual leave to be able to do different things. I think Tony Dolbear took up a load of holiday to do all the press promotions and so on. So it's just really, really insane. Obviously, there were a few things that we'd learned from. We have mentioned fairly recently the ticketing situation where we kind of were all told just to wait. There's no point queuing for hours and hours. There's loads of tickets, and then all of a sudden there wasn't loads of tickets. I remember Wayne walking down the aisle counting people to make sure there was enough tickets, and I kind of pointed out to him that there's no point counting heads because several of the people in the queue was buying tickets for others as well. Because I myself was in the queue with 2 season tickets, so I was hoping to get 4 tickets, and that didn't happen because of the shortage. Obviously, the club has learnt from that and things changed. But yeah, at the time, it was a bit stressful. So I was quite pleased to have got my tickets at the time. There were other things in the build-up that perhaps were not best thought out. We had a change of sponsors, which at the time I was quite aggrieved because we obviously had Gringo Waste as our sponsor, and I felt they usurped. I did find out afterwards that they were quite on board with it. But the choice of sponsors being the Sun was not the the best in the world. We took a bit of backlash on that. I think we lost a lot of goodwill on that one. But you know what? We learned. It wasn't. We're not a big club. We're not there doing things deliberately. And we just didn't think of the backlash. People need to remember that. But I do remember the build-up being really, really interesting. Strangely, the high street of Sutton didn't really get that much behind us. I think Project Store was the only store really that did. Sheen got massively into it, which was brilliant. But it was nice to sort of been out and about, wearing my scarf, my hat, and so on. And the build-up in the town, seeing people, them saying, "Oh, you Sutton supporter," so they knew the colours, which was a big change from previous. Forever, whenever you walked around wearing any of the Sutton colours, it would be people like, "Who's that?" And you say Sutton, and invariably the answer was who. But it was really nice change. I used to pop into the bakery every day, and the fella in there, he'd have a little chat with me about the cup run, the game coming up, and so on. Well, having gone through my tickets, the actual day eventually came round, seemingly forever, and made my way down to the ground quite early. Had a nice, strange feel to it. There was people outside the ground with like replicas of the FA Cup, which I got a picture of. It was just a whole strange atmosphere. I got there early to get to my normal FA Cup spot. The reason I had that FA Cup spot is we were heading for a draw against Forest Green Rovers in one of the early rounds, I think the preliminary round. And as I was kind of not leaving early, obviously, but I was walking my way around to the gate, I kind of got just ahead, a couple of steps ahead of the first post from the curver, and Rory hit that beautiful shot, went in, which meant we won, and we didn't have to go to a replay. And I sort of stood there thinking, right, I might just stay in this spot now, and that's pretty much the spot I managed to get for almost every match along the run. The only one that I couldn't get to is when I got to the ground over an hour early, which back in those days was ridiculous because there's no point getting there that early because the place was empty. But I got there an hour early and it was already 3 deep, so I couldn't quite get to my spot, and people were very unwilling to move out of the way just so I could stand in the right spot. I maintain that is why we didn't win the match. So if anyone was standing in my spot and they're listening, it's your fault because you wouldn't let me stand in the right space. But anyway, whatever. I remember kind of sort of people asking, saying, "Oh, how are we going to spot you? How are we going to spot you?" Because lots of people all of a sudden were very interested in getting onto watch it on the TV. And they all decided that they were going to look for me wearing my stupid beanie hat, the yellow beanie hat. Did try and point out that I wasn't the only one wearing a yellow beanie hat, but they decided they were going to find me on TV to watch the beanie hat because that's where they saw me with the Leeds game. I was stuck there and I got caught on TV with my bright yellow beanie hat. And it was just as well I had my new spot because when I got there, the BBC had taken over the entire curver area. And I wouldn't have been able to get to my normal spot anyway, so I would have definitely had a sulk about that. Still, it was a whole bizarre day. Really, really strange atmosphere. You see Arsene Wenger walking along Gander Green Lane, all these big names. And I'll be honest, I'm not massively into Premier League football, so I didn't really know many of the names. I did know a couple of them, but I didn't know a lot of the names. My nephew Josh was with me at the time, and he did know quite a few of them. But yeah, they were obviously a bit too good for us, obviously. But Arsenal were weak at the time. There was a lot of the Wenger out conversations going on at the time, and we were kind of getting at them a little bit. And Rory just absolutely took this beautiful shot, and if I'd been standing in the right spot, I would have been able to give it a little. And it would have gone in, probably not, but it just rattled that crossbar. And to this day, if that had just dipped in, we were still 2-1, we'd have been 2-1 down, but I think we would have got at them, and I think we would have absolutely terrified them. a little bit. We just lifted the whole ground. Everything would have been really, really just huge. Didn't happen. I remember one player I had heard of coming on, Sanchez, and big sort of cheer came up, and Wenger said afterwards that he sort of put him on for the occasion. I remember watching TV interviews afterwards and seeing this lovely little smile on Wenger's face when he was asked about the changing rooms. It might be beforehand, I can't remember actually, but he was asked about the small changing rooms, and he was like, no, this is football. This is what he expected from clubs. So, just an amazing day. But then the phone started buzzing in the pocket, and messages of things like, "Oh, your keeper is a legend. What's going on? Ha ha ha! He's so funny." And I'm like, "What the hell are they talking about?" And then get home, and instead of Sutton ran Arsenal close, and wasn't it amazing with Sutton? There was a pitch invasion, which was annoying as well, because obviously we didn't get to have the players come round so we could applaud them. But yeah, there was a bit of an aftermath with Pygate and Wayne. He obviously was caught on the sidelines eating a pie. Again, this comes down to our choice of sponsor. I had seen it in the papers a few days before, and I thought it was a bit rude that some of the bets they were putting on them, especially they were our partners. Some of the bets they're offering, like things like dog running on the pitch, or the goalkeeper eating a pie, which is obviously he's a big chap, so it was all ha ha ha, isn't it funny? Which I kind of thought that's a bit dismissive as us at the time when I saw them. Realised afterwards that clearly someone had put the idea in his head for a laugh. He then went on to that awful Piers Morgan bloke who found it hilarious and got him to dig a hole even bigger for himself. From that, it was quite obvious that someone had said something to Wayne about that. Oh, it's all right. It's people only get the back of them at their match fee. It's fine. Or the ticket price, which I think was a 40 quid if I remember correctly. But it came under the realms of obviously match betting. So there was a lot of problems. It brought a lot of problems into the club. I mean, it did bring a lot of unwanted attention about. I mean, we wanted to talk about how great the players were, but even now, if you type Sutton United into any of the search engines, some within a few returns you're going to get about the pie. Wayne obviously left the club. The club got a lot of grief about that. He was subsequently charged and banned from the FA, and unfortunately, I mean, he's a nice bloke. Unfortunately, he had suffered from depression for quite a while afterwards. I think it was 6 months or something. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, once the bet was there, he couldn't win or lose, because if he didn't eat a pie, it'd also be doing it." Well, of all the games I've ever seen Wayne on the bench at Sutton United, not once have I ever seen him eat a pie. So, pasty, as he said. So, yeah, it was a disappointing. I do think that someone sort of was just telling him how much of a laugh it would be, and Wayne loves to laugh. But yeah, 5 years ago today, fantastic time for us as Sutton supporters, little club. Obviously, we're not a little club now, we're big time. And it was just, amazing time. And looking back even further, it's still a moment of pride, apart from those 3 little problems of the pitch invasion, or 4 little problems, or the pitch invasion, tickets, sponsor, and obviously Pygate. But I'm a positive person. It was a great moment in our history. We did get a couple games later a chance for the real fans, as they call them, to say thank you to the players when we played at home, and the crowd was much reduced, as you can imagine, or you can remember, for those who were there. It has picked up a lot of people. We've spoken to a lot of people who we came to their attention because of that cup run, and they started supporting us very shortly afterwards. So you know what, it's always good things, and despite that little problem, still always wish Wayne well, but didn't particularly like the Pygate situation. But a great time, and really enjoyed it, and it's lovely to be able to look back on the memories that you have. Although I found I didn't actually take an awful lot of pictures. I think I was sick with nerves for most of the day. Right, let's just move on a little bit. Sorry. Right, as I mentioned, there is a chance to win a digital copy of FIFA 22. This is a code for either PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X and S. I have no idea what that is, or PC. This is probably my first ever collab. You would have seen me put out a tweet earlier in the week asking for contributors to FIFA scouting, and you can just contribute your thoughts and updates, and there's a whole little sort of ream of things. I don't have any time to do that, but they agreed that if I put out the tweet, so they'd give me a copy of FIFA 22 to give away. So that is, well, they said I could have it, but I said I was going to give it away because I've already got it. But yeah, so that's my first official influencer collab. Yay, I'm amazing. But there is a question on the website. So Sutton, www.suttonpodcast.com, go to the competition tab and you will see the question to be answered, and you will see where to enter, and I will draw the winner, assuming there's enough entries, enough interest. I'll draw the winner next week, hopefully, assuming I remember, but I will definitely be drawing a winner of that because I have no need for the code anyway, so it doesn't make a difference to me. But on to normal things. Unfortunately, the guest who I was going to have on this week, we did a few tests and technology wasn't able to work for him. And I had some bad planning, so I only planned one guest this week, so that was useless. And then, unfortunately, there's no Stevenage guest either, so this is why you have a monologue today. So, Hartlepool, listening and highlights, unfortunately. So obviously, I may have missed some things. And if you are listening to the chat, please, or listening live, you can just chuck into the chat and I can pick up any comments there. And if you would, so if there's anything you want to add in, please do. So sorry, I was just checking to make sure no one had actually said anything. So first of all, before the game, it was a nice little tweet from Emma showing her boy there, sort of standing in the front, and as Scandinavian said, it's some clubs you get kids getting photos with a player or two, and yeah, he had the whole entire, I think the whole squad was there actually standing behind him smiling for the photo, which was a really, really nice one to see. And it's just shows this club is so special, it's so wonderful. But after Tuesday, it was important to we get something out of this game, and we had a slightly stronger lineup. Again, no disrespect, it's the injuries that we're talking about. We're talking about stronger, and we kind of wondered how it was going to go, keep things tight, obviously. And then Joe Kizzy scored brilliant header from corner after, I think it was timed 128 seconds, I saw, which is, you can't ask for much better than that. The only thing I would like to know is, Joe Kizzy, if you're listening, what the hell is that GIF all about? If you haven't seen it, please go to Twitter and have a look at the GIF of Joe Kizzy after he celebrating his goal. Not celebrating his goal, the club puts out the GIF. But yeah, that requires an explanation, I think. First half, we kind of was all over it. We had a couple of good chances. There was one where Omar just, I think they were saying, just needed to stick his nut on it, and he tried to chest it for some reason. There was another chance for Will that was cleared, I think not off the line, but just a little bit ahead of that. Should have gone in, could have gone in. So I think quite unlucky, really, to go in only 1-0 up. And then it was a complete switch. Possibly, I think someone was saying about obviously there was wind around and the sun. And I think it just switched around to second half. They bossed the second half. They scored a good goal and had another couple of good chances. There were other half chances for us, but I think overall the consensus of opinion is that we had the first half, they had the second half, and the draw was a fair result. Draw's a good point for us. They good side at home. I think they had one of the best home records in the country at some point. So it's not a bad point at all. It's a really, really good one and important, especially as we did just lose on Tuesday for the first time in ages. Some people will look at the form table and suddenly we've gone from being right at the top to a bit further down now because we've had 5 draws and a defeat in the last 6. But these unbeaten runs have to start somewhere, so this is the start of the next unbeaten run, hopefully. I did ask for a have a say, and I didn't get a huge amount of feedback on there from my wonderful gift myself. But Ryan Young on Twitter said we probably scored too early, but absolutely would have taken 4 points off the other newly promoted side if it was offered. So obviously we don't get those offers, but absolutely good result. And again, yeah, we've not been beaten by them this season, so we just move on to the next one. Really important. We've got minutes in the legs. No further obvious injuries. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen until the guys turn up again, but it seems there was no further injuries. It gives us a chance now with no midweek game to rest and hopefully get some bodies back. Some more days to just get in there and get ready for Scunthorpe. Not really a lot to say about Scunthorpe. We had a draw with them early in the season when we were going for our own tricky spell where we couldn't seem to get any results for love nor money. They are bottom of the league and they are adrift. I think there's 7 points from safety, and that's Oldham who are suddenly flying. I know we've got to play them soon, so that's going to be fun. But it's one of those games where being Sutton United, we look at that and you're like, they're bottom of the league. We should win that easily. We're flying. Yeah, it's the kind of game that we end up losing. But hopefully not this time. A bit more on it this time. And let's just do it early, get it done, win the game, move on to the next one. But it's important that we do get that result against them. I think then we have another week to Rochdale, which would be just huge for us at the moment. With just these 2 games in these next 2 weeks, is going to be absolutely huge for us. Because it just allows us to get back the bodies, as I said. I know I'm repeating myself, but it is just so important to start getting everyone back on the training ground, fit in the team, so people can start having rests. So yeah, there's not much more to say on that, really. I know they're having a torrid time. Possibly why I struggled with a couple of Scunthorpe fans and so on that just had no interest in coming on at all. But yeah, hopefully we'll put them to bed and move on. So just very, very quickly, and again, this may be controversial because I didn't actually get to see the match, so I'm only going on what I listened to and the highlights and different reasons. But the pod nominations, I've gone for Joe Kizzy. It is for the goal, not the GIF, but could have been for the GIF as well. But Joe Kizzy for the goal. Ali for getting through another match when, again, possibly could do for the rest. Poor fella. Omar for leading the line, battling up front, just doing what he can, and to plan that lonely fire up there. But Omar, another great performance. And I thought Louis as well, because again, it's only recently he's come back in from an injury. Could have picked a couple of others for similar reasons, but the 4 I've gone for this week is Joe, Ali, Omar, and Louis. And the poll will be on Twitter as normal. So please vote. Don't let it go to a draw, because that we don't really know what to do there. So that is really it for this week. It's been a bit of a shorter one, but I'm sure it's seemed a lot longer having to listen to just me. Don't forget, there is that competition. As I said, it's on suttonpodcast.com. Go to the competition tab. It's in the menu, and just answer the question. I have given the answer in the question, in the podcast, sorry. It's for a digital copy of FIFA 22, and for pretty much any of the standard things. I don't think it's for Android or Switch or anything like that, but it's any of the sort of major consoles. Please give us any feedback at Sutton Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, as I keep saying, Instagram and TikTok. I don't really do an awful lot there picture-wise. Give us a shout out. Any comments, Mike at suttonpodcast.com. Thank you for listening. As always, please do tell your friends to be bored with this podcast, especially if they support Sutton. Listeners are growing hopefully I'm getting a little bit better at it this week aside. I do apologise. I said loads this week. I really am sorry. As I said, thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure as always to talk to you, or talk at you this week. And I will see you again on Tuesday, where I have an interview with someone from the back team of the club, or will be revealed on Wednesday when I release it. Sorry, not Tuesday. I'm thinking of Tuesday because it's Tuesday, and I keep having that in my mind. You will see that joke a lot on Tuesday. Take care. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
United!